Benelli TRK502. Best Adventure Motorcycle Sport Touring Parallel Twin. Last month we tested the 2021 Benelli TRK502X Adventure motorcycle and came away impressed. At first glance, the standard TRK502 doesn't seem that much different from the X version. However, there are distinctions, and they are significant. The two motorcycles aren't in the same category. As it turns out, the standard 2021 Benelli TRK502 is a motorcycle with a much broader appeal, and at a lower price. We went on some long rides on the TRK502, and here's what we found out. 1. Although it shares the same Italian styling, the 2021 Benelli TRK502 differs from the X in essential ways. The TRK502 has 17-inch aluminum wheels with sport touring Pirelli Angel ST tires, compared to the wire-spoked wheels on the X, which uses Metzeler Torrens ADV tires and a 19-inch front wheel. The X has an exhaust can positioned out of the way of off-road obstacles, while the standard 502 has a compact underframe muffler designed for street duty. The suspension travel is longer on the 502X, though we can't tell you by exactly how much. Benelli is mum on that. Regardless, the seat height of the 502 is over 1.5 inches lower than the 502X. 2. These differences take the TRK502 out of the X's ADV category and positions the standard 502 as a sport touring motorcycle. As there are plenty of ADV motorcycles out there and fewer sport tourers, we welcome the market separation of the two TRKs. 3. The 31.5-inch seat height opens the door to more riders. When it comes to seat heights, an inch and a half can make a huge difference, especially on a bike that tips the scales at 518 pounds with its 5.3-gallon fuel tank topped off with premium that's heavier than a BMW F850 GS. While I could manage the TRK502X on my tiptoes with my 30.5-inch inseam, I was 100% more comfortable on the 1.6-inch shorter TRK502. From the moment I swung a leg over the seat and found I could flat-foot it, I knew I was going to have a good time on the 502. 4. Adventure ergonomics are nicely upright and instill confidence. Although the TRK502 is a physically large motorcycle, the upright seating and wide bars keep the bike from feeling like a handful. The reach to the tall bend handlebar is slightly long for me, an unusual problem for me, so we pivoted them toward the saddle to bring them a tad closer and more naturally at hand. The foot pegs are neutrally placed and high enough to retain a sporty feel and have plenty of cornering clearance. There's plenty of room to move about on the wide, thickly padded seat, so it's a secure and comfortable perch for sport touring. The seated in riding position creates a connected, secure feeling, and with my legs tucked comfortably under the tank, I feel in command. 5. Instead of the high-mounted, massive muffler on the 502X, the 502 has a compact unit tucked in below the rider's right heel. This allows the addition of optional full-sized aftermarket panniers on both sides of the 502, while the 502X makes do with a modified right side box. Happily, the exhaust snud placement does not come into conflict with my right heel, even when riding on the balls of my feet. Plus, it looks great. 6. The liquid-cooled DOHC 500 cubic centimeters parallel twin is torquey, friendly, and satisfying. Getting off idle is drama-free with the smooth and easy power delivery of the just over square power plant. Maximum torque comes at 5,000 RPM, 1,000 RPM sooner than the 502X, and the pull is pretty consistent all the way to the redline of 9,000 RPM. This makes the TRK502 a very agreeable ride. 7. Impressively, the 2021 Benelli TRK502 handles fast-moving freeways quite well. It's not a quick revver, it is a 500 pushing quite a bit of weight and frontal resistance. So, you will have to downshift and twist the throttle hard if you only have a short opening for an overtake. However, once the 502 is moving, there's a freight train-like quality to the momentum it carries. While chasing a larger bike up a long upgrade at 80 miles per hour, the TRK502 was able to keep pace handily. Sure, it's revving up into the 8,000 plus RPM range, but it does so without screaming. The redline is at 9,000, and the rev limiter kicks in at some point past that. 8. Spins through the canyons and backroads are a blast, as the torque and suspension combine for nimble handling on the rangy bike. The TRK502 has both a pleasingly substantial feel on the road, and an athletic character. With its sporty 17-inch front wheel and Angel ST rubber, versus the 19-inch ADV tire on the X, the 502 is responsive and surprisingly light on its feet. Its weight is carried low and, once underway, it doesn't take a lot of effort to maneuver the TRK502. With a massive 50mm inverted fork, you can push the TRK502 hard in turns, and it feels inspiringly secure.